the door open, they should be coming in.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us here today. I'm here with Deputy Commissioner Brian Nadeau of our Public Integrity and Compliance Bureau. We're here to release the body-worn camera footage from the police-involved fatal shooting that occurred on May 24th, 2024 in the Southern District. Before I hand it over to Deputy Commissioner Nadeau, I want to say that the department is always committed to conducting a thorough investigation in these incidents. As we continue to move from warriors to guardians, we are dedicated to representing the highest levels of transparency, equity, and accountability. I will now turn it over to Deputy Commissioner Nadeau.
Thank you, Commissioner. The Department's Special Investigative Response Team, known as CERT, along with the Independent Investigations Division of the Maryland State's Attorney's Office, are currently investigating this shooting. I understand the high level of public scrutiny that accompanies any use of force from the Department or any law enforcement agency across the country. In order to be transparent, as we are with all police-involved shootings, we're going to release a body-worn camera today. The video will show footage from an incident which occurred on May 24th, 2024 at approximately 10:25 p.m. in the 3400 block of South Hanover Street. As we get ready to show the video, I'll just give you some information beforehand. A detective that was working that night believed that there was going to be an individual who had been involved in a discharge of a firearm 4 days earlier, believed he was going to be at a certain location. They observed who they believed to be that person, which is why they're where they are and why they're approaching. So the video you will see will start with them approaching the individual who's sitting on a stoop about a half a block to a block away from where the individual was working, and he was on a break. So I'll have they'll start the video as we'll walk through.
Hey, buddy. Around, please advise.
You see your hands, buddy?
Charles already approaching, so we're about.
Can you step away?
Huh?
Can you stand up for a minute?
For what?
We'll just check it.
You got it on you today, my man. It was all on video. When you were shooting up the garage last week, or a couple days ago. All right, well, as long as you got a gun on you, then we ain't got much to talk about. But maybe you check backpack, make sure you got the gun on you today. All right? Kind of figured you probably got rid of it after we came by earlier. But figured we'll probably check just in case. You're lucky you didn't hit any of them people. You guys, no guns on you anywhere, right? Look, sheriff's I can see it was a big enough. No, there.
Shots fired! Get back! Stick with that thing! Stick with that thing!
Fuck that. Right there. Shit. Fuck.
Stop! Stay on, stay on.
I got it. You got it on you today, my man. That was all on video. When you were shooting up the garage last week, or a couple days ago.
I don't have anything.
All right, well, as long as you ain't got a gun on you, then we ain't got much to talk about. But I need to check backpack, make sure you ain't got the gun on you today. All right? Kind of figured you probably got rid of it after we came by earlier. But figured we should probably check just in case. You're lucky you didn't hit any of them people. no guns on you anywhere, right? Good sheriff saying, see, it was a big enough gun. No, okay.
Yo! Yo! Lay down! Drop the gun! Drop the gun! Shots fired! Shots fired! Give me a medic!
I'm hit. Hold on, I'm hit. Good sheriff saying, see, it was a big enough gun. No, okay.
Yo! Lay down! Drop the gun! Drop the gun!
Good sheriff saying, see, it was a big enough gun. No, okay.
I'm hit. Hold on, I'm hit.
Sheriff saying, see, it was a big enough gun. No, okay. Good sheriff saying, see, it was a big enough gun. No, okay. Good sheriff saying, see, it was a big enough gun. No, okay.
I'm hit. Hold on, I'm hit.
The last officer, Officer Willems, was struck by one round, a .145 caliber that did his bulletproof vest, which saved him. He was transferred to the hospital and was released. I would say that all the officers involved in the incident are currently on routine administrative leave, and we have them in touch with our Officer Safety and Wellness Program. And now we'll take any questions.
We're gonna start at this end, work that way. Please state your name and outlet, and one question, one follow-up, and we'll go back around if we need to. Keep it on topic.
Jeff Hager with Channel 2. Do we know if there was any toxicology or anything that's been conducted hereafter on the suspect to determine whether his state of mind at the time of this incident?
That's done by the medical examiner's office, and I don't think we have that report yet.
And I can follow up with
Mhm.
Okay. And also, do we know if the gun that he had on him, if it was restricted or if it was a registered weapon?
So that's part of the ongoing investigation. We're tracking that information down now. We do not have all the results of that at this point.
David Collins, WBAL TV. I really appreciate slowing down the video because initially you had a question, did the suspect fired? You can clearly see a flash from the gun. And you said one officer was struck by one. Did he fire more than once?
So we believe he fired 3 rounds. We found 3 .45 casings at the scene. So it appears he fired 3 rounds. One of those struck the officer, the other 2 did not.
Gotcha. Hi, Dan Bells from Baltimore Sun. Just a little background on the suspect who was stopped. I think there was some discussion over what he was being stopped for. Was that his place of work that he was being stopped at? And did you mention he was on a break from work?
Yes, he was on a break from work at that point.
Gotcha.
I'd like to follow up on Jeff Hager's question on David Collins on Channel 11. As far as the suspect's history, does he have a criminal history? I mean, can you elaborate a little bit more about who this individual was? And what was he, because you mentioned he wanted to be questioned regarding a previous shooting.
Yeah, so I don't want to get into his criminal history. He's no longer with us, and certainly our thoughts and prayers go out to his family. But he was a suspect in an incident that happened 4 days earlier where he was observed on camera discharging his weapon. The officer is actually the officer who did receive a gunshot here, was doing the investigation. The detective had believed he had identified the individual, which is why they knew he was at work that day and he'd be on break between 10 and 10:30, which is why they approached him between 10 and 10:30. So they did believe that he had been involved in the incident 4 days earlier. They did believe at the time he had a firearm. You heard the sergeant say to him, you know, you might have got rid of the firearm because they pretty much believed he had one 4 days earlier, but in fact he still had the firearm with him.
And just again, another follow-up, was he firearm prohibited?
So we're tracking down the firearm now to see exactly whether or not it was prohibited, whether or not it was properly registered to him, or who it was actually registered to, in doing that investigation.
And one more, thanks. Was that firearm on initial inspection, did it have any mechanism on it that made it more than just, you know, one shot?
So it did. No, so it was a 45. It was a Springfield 45 auto, semi-auto. It did have an extended magazine on it, which can carry anywhere between 27 and 29 rounds. It had, I believe, 15. I believe it had 15 rounds in it. 3 that he had fired, with 3 casings that we found at the scene.
We hear the term suicide by cop. In this instance, he did get off a couple of shots, but would you qualify this because of the way there were so many officers surrounding him, and they were all armed?
Yeah, it's really tough to get into somebody's mind at the time of when they do something. I'm sure he wasn't not expecting, you know, 5 police officers to show up at the scene. You know, what he was thinking at the time is really anybody's guess.
And could you tell me how many officers actually discharged their weapons and the total number of shots fired by police?
Sure, 5 officers discharged their weapons for a total of 39 rounds.
Jessica Albert with WJZ. Can you talk about the officer that was shot? Is he also on administrative leave?
So, yes, all of the officers go automatically on administrative leave and go to our health and wellness program. He also is part of that program. He was treated that evening and is recovering.
And Officer Willems, or actually it's Detective Willems, he's one of our district detective units. He was working his backfill of patrol. And the gunshot that struck him hit him in his vest, right where his vest isn't there, it goes into his heart and probably kills him. So the bulletproof vest actually saved the officer's life that night because it stopped the round from entering his body.
Anyone else?
Has the AG's office technically cleared all of your personnel in the shooting?
So this is an ongoing investigation. The Special Investigative Response Team from BPD, along with the Attorney General's Office, do these cases jointly. So they have an investigation going. We cooperate with them and provide them details, et cetera. So it is an ongoing investigation. Nobody's been cleared. I mean, we're in the early stages of it. Of course, we have to wait for the autopsy report to get back, all the firearms. Like, there's a lot that go into these. And so we're nowhere near completion yet.
Any of the officers involved in this shooting, have they been involved in previous shootings?
So we're going through everybody's records now and getting all the information. I mean, again, a lot of this administrative backlog going through stuff takes time. The beginning part, of course, we like to get as much information as possible so we can release it. All of that will be done during the investigation.
And we will be sending out the video in a little bit. Anyone else? Is that it?
Off topic?
No.
No.
No on topic.
I've got one. When can we expect the names of the decedent and the officers involved to be released officially?
They've already been
I think
released.
they've already
The AG released them.
No, the decedent as well?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, got it.
Yep,
And there'll be a link to this video?
Yes,
for us back there?
absolutely. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Did you guys want to watch the video again, slow down areas, or are you good? Because we're going to send a link in about a couple minutes. It's up to you. Yeah, the slow down portion?
Yes.
Do you need it? 'Cause
I'm
you get the
fine,
link.
if we get the link out, I'm good.
Yeah, we're good.
I'm hit. Hold on, I'm hit.
Sheriff, I see it was a big enough. Yeah. Sheriff, I see it was a big enough. Sheriff, I see it was a big enough.
God damn it! I'm hit. Hold on, I'm hit.
Good, thanks. You're welcome. Yeah. Yep.
Can I get his name again real quick, just so I have a picture?
Deputy Commissioner? Yep, I'll spell it for you. I'll make sure I'm spelling it right. Yep, his name is spelled B-R-I-A-N.